separates you from the rest of the planet. When I was 7 years old, a kid in my class stabbed me in the back with a pencil during art time, and I had no idea until the teacher started screaming. I just kept coloring my dinosaur picture while blood soaked through my shirt. I was born with a condition called congenital insensitivity to pain, which means I literally can't feel anything physical. No pain, no pleasure, no hot, no cold, nothing at all. The doctors told my parents I'd need constant supervision because I could seriously hurt myself without knowing. They were right too. In 4th grade, I broke 3 fingers playing basketball and only noticed when I couldn't grip the ball properly. My hand had swollen up like a purple balloon, but I felt absolutely nothing. The other kids thought I was the toughest person alive, but really I was just broken in a different way. Growing up was basically a series of medical emergencies I didn't know were happening. During gym class in middle school, I passed out on the track and woke up in the hospital. Turns out that pencil stabbing from years ago had left internal damage that reopened while I was running. I'd been bleeding internally for who knows how long, just jogging around like everything was fine. The doctor said I was lucky to be alive. My parents wrapped me in bubble wrap, metaphorically speaking. They made me wear special clothes with padding and check my body for injuries every few hours. I had to look at myself in a full-length mirror twice a day, searching for cuts or bruises or swelling. Dating seemed impossible because how could I explain to someone that holding hands felt like holding air to me? I couldn't feel their touch at all. Then I met Adeline in college. She was studying physical therapy and found my condition fascinating from a medical perspective. At first, she just wanted to study me for her thesis, but we ended up talking for hours about what life was like when you couldn't feel. She was the first person who didn't look at me with pity or treat me like I was made of glass. Adeline was religious and had made a commitment to save herself for marriage. This actually worked perfectly for us because it meant we could build our relationship without the physical complications my condition would bring. We spent 3 years dating and getting to know each other through conversations and shared experiences. She'd hold my hand even though I couldn't feel it, and I'd watch her face light up with happiness. Our engagement was beautiful, and I proposed at the same part where we'd had our first real conversation about my condition. Adeline cried and said yes immediately. She knew exactly what life with me would mean, and she chose it anyway. The wedding planning kept us busy and distracted from thinking too much about what would come after. Our wedding day was perfect with Adeline in this flowing white dress that made her look like an angel. She kept touching my face during the ceremony, and I could see in her eyes that she wished I could feel it, but I was feeling everything emotionally, even if my skin registered nothing. We danced at the reception, and I memorized how happy she looked in my arms. The honeymoon suite was decorated with rose petals and candles. Adeline came out of the bathroom in a white silk nightgown looking nervous and beautiful. She sat on the bed and took my hand, saying she'd been waiting for this moment her whole life. That's when reality hit her. She'd been so focused on waiting that she'd somehow forgotten or pushed aside what my condition meant for our physical relationship. "You can't feel any of this, can you?" she asked with tears forming in her eyes. I shook my head and watched her face rumble. She felt guilty for wanting to experience pleasure when I couldn't feel anything at all. I held her while she cried and told her it was okay. I wanted to make her happy even if I couldn't share in the physical sensations. We talked for hours that night about how to make things work. I explained that just because I couldn't feel pleasure didn't mean I couldn't give it. Adeline was hesitant at first because it felt selfish to her, but I told her that seeing her happy would make me happy in a different way. Emotional satisfaction instead of physical. She needed time to process this new reality. Over the next few weeks, we slowly figured things out together. I had to learn her body through her reactions since I had no physical feedback of my own. Every sound she made and expression on her face became my guide. Where other people relied on mutual sensation, I relied entirely on her responses. I became incredibly focused on reading her signals. The thing about not feeling physical sensation is that I also don't experience fatigue the same way. My jaw doesn't get tired and my neck doesn't cramp. Adeline was amazed and sometimes overwhelmed by how attentive I could be for extended periods. We had to set boundaries because I would literally continue forever if she didn't tell me to stop. I'm a certified C-box muncher.